Sorry I'm late.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, how are you?
Oh, I know you were out for a while. What was it, paternity leave, caring for sick? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I'm just glad you're back.
Me too.
Alright, let's get this meeting started. So I figure you're back. We're going to discuss the studio's newest project, Dreamcatcher.
Ooh, nifty title. What's it about? Is it based on anything?
Yes, it's based on a Stephen King novel. Now that guy gets butts and seats, right?
Yeah, last thing I remember was like It, I think, but sure, Yeah, we're good.
Now that guy, he gets butts and seats. We're gonna make a ton of money from this one.
Yeah.
So picture a gritty Scooby-Doo.
A gritty Scooby-Doo.
Yes, a gritty Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Now, kind of still supernatural, right? So I guess a little different than Scooby-Doo, typically. But the characters are basically the Scooby-Doo characters.
Okay, so you got a bunch of, diverse people, maybe an animal.
Well, we don't have an animal, because again, it's realistic. We can't have a talking dog here, right?
Right.
So, alright, yeah, so we're gonna have like a leader type, gonna have like a damsel in distress type, we're gonna have kind of like a glasses type, and then a guy who, kind of a little goofy, right?
Right.
And then we're gonna have another guy, and he'll be the Scooby-Doo, right?
A guy's gonna be the Scooby-Doo stand-in.
Well, kind of. It's kind of metaphorical, really.
Okay.
Like, we'll have some like Scooby-Doo props on screen at various times, just to
kind of bring home.
Yeah, right. Just to bring home the metaphor, right?
All right.
So, all right. Let me just start off at the beginning. I'll describe the film and give you a general run through of the plot, so you understand what's happening. So you'll know exactly how to market this thing.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So first thing we're going to do is introduce each character, right? We'll give them each a little scene so we have a sense of who they are.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So yeah, it'll start with a general overview of each character, right? So a scene dedicated to each one of them so we understand who they all are.
Mm-hmm.
So start out with the first guy. His name is Fred? No, it's not Fred, but he's the Fred guy, right?
Okay.
So picture him as Fred.
You don't remember his name?
I do not remember his name, but we'll call him Fred for now. I think that'll kind of get the picture across, right?
Okay. Ray lost the name of the main character, but it's fine. We'll figure that out later.
I mean, it's a cast film. Like, there's a lot of people to keep track of. So, I mean...
Right. You got, a cast of, 7?
Around there, right? So, yeah. I think
okay.
I think that's fine. So, all right. So, Fred, he's a psychologist of sorts, and he's talking to this guy. Now, obviously, Fred and all these other guys can read minds.
Wait, they can read minds?
Yes, they can read minds. That's their sort of gimmick, right? They can all read minds.
Okay, all right.
So Fred...
They have powers?
Yes, they have powers.
Uh-huh.
So Fred, he reads the mind of his patient, and then he tries to give the patient a real talk. Like, telling him, you gotta stop eating so much, and you're eating so much because you're blaming yourself for your mother's death. And then the patient gets so upset that he walks out.
That sounds a little offensive.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is offensive. We're trying to show these characters are raw and gritty, right? Real people.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
All right, so that's Fred. All right, so then we're going to introduce our next guy. He's kind of like the shaggy guy, right? He's a car salesman.
Uh-huh.
This woman walks in. She's lost her keys. So he kind of walks around town with her to find her keys. And obviously he's a psychic, so he knows exactly where she left them. And he tells her at the end, right? He finds her keys and he's like, I want you to go out on a date with me. But then... it's realistic. She doesn't go out on the date with him.
How sad. I mean, I don't think I would either. But that's just me.
So then the guy with the glasses, right? That's our Velma. Her scene is, his scene. They're all men, right? So his scene.
They're all dudes.
They're all dudes.
Okay.
So his scene is to call the Daphne guy on the phone.
Daphne guy.
Yes. And, he's ginger, so it'll all make a lot of sense.
Okay, yeah, they all look like they're the counterpart. Okay, cool.
I mean, they vaguely look like their counterparts, kind of in spirit, right? So, alright, this guy, he gets the call, and he's warned, right? Something bad's gonna happen, right? Because they're psychic.
Alright, this is gonna get into the plot, the story, I'm imagining.
Yeah, so he kind of goes into a trance, right?
Uh-huh.
He looks across the street, and he swears he sees, the fifth guy of their group. But he's seeing him as like a little kid. So in his trance, he walks across the street and he gets bam, bam, hit by 2 cars. His body flies up in the air. It's very exciting.
Okay, with 2 things. So, are you introducing the 5th guy?
No, we'll kind of get to him later in the flashbacks.
Okay. But you killed the Daphne guy?
Oh, no, he's still alive.
Oh, okay, so then why bother showing him getting hit by a car?
Well, I mean, he'll walk with a limp, and it'll kind of like tie into later parts of the movie, so...
This has something to do with the plot, right?
Oh, yeah, no, it's all really important.
Okay, alright, yeah, no, keep going.
Yeah, so these 4 guys, they all go to the cabin, right?
There's a cabin?
Yes, there's a cabin in the woods, they go every single year, it's snowy, and then they go hunting, right? That's the thing.
Alright, great. So they invite, all 5 guys are going to be in this cabin hanging out together?
Oh, no, the 5th guy has cancer, he can't go anywhere.
But the 5th guy has cancer?
Yeah, he doesn't really, go anywhere with them, so...
When did you tell us this? Why doesn't he go anywhere with them?
Well, I mean, we'll find out later that he has cancer.
Oh, so
no,
we don't
it's
know
the other
now.
4 guys who go to the cabin.
Oh, so we don't know yet that the other guy has cancer, or that even there's a 5th guy, really?
No. Well, yes, we do know about the 5th guy, because they always talk about him. His name is Duddits, right? And this whole group, they kind of got to... Yes, Duddits, that's his name. It's a nickname, I think his name's like Douglas or something like that. Yeah, so they call him Duddits, that's his nickname.
That's a name.
Yeah, so they all got together as friends when they rescued him from these bullies who were abusing him because he has Down syndrome.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, you made this guy the Scooby-Doo character.
More or less.
The guy with Down syndrome that barely shows up in the movie and also has cancer.
Well, I mean, it's in the source material.
So you decided to put that in?
Yeah, I mean, we can't change the book. Stephen King, he gets butts in seats.
Okay, you know what? Sure, just keep it going. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, so this Duddits guy, right? He has the psychic powers, and then he gives everybody else the psychic powers, right? And then that's why everybody in the group has psychic powers.
Wait, so you also made the guy with Down syndrome have magical abilities?
Yes, because he's an alien. He speaks in this kind of alien language.
Pause for a hot second. He's an alien too.
Yes, he's an alien, and he speaks in this kind of alien language.
That can be misconstrued as something maybe a little awkward, don't you think?
I mean, it's in the source material, so I mean...
Yeah, Yeah, no, let's keep going.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the plot all makes sense, because again, he gave them the psychic powers so they could solve a mystery together and find this missing girl who was, caught in a well and stuff.
Okay, so then they become the Scooby-Doo mystery team, but we don't see any of that.
No, now they're adults.
Now they're adults. But their psychic powers are going to come into play in the narrative, right?
Yeah, the psychic powers definitely come back.
Okay, great.
Alright, so, yeah, they're all in this cabin in the woods, and then they split up, right? Very Scooby-Doo. So, 2 of them, right, that one's the Daphne guy and the Velma guy. So, yeah, obviously I should tell you their names.
That'd be nice.
The red-haired guy is named Jonesy.
Okay.
And then the guy with the glasses is named Beaver.
That's a human name.
It's a nickname. They're both nicknames.
Oh,
right?
Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah. Glad I only know their nicknames. Yeah.
So Jonesy and Beaver, they're going hunting, right?
Okay.
And they run into this guy. He's really sick.
Oh man, that sounds serious.
Yeah. I can't even get over it. He's just burping and farting everywhere. It's actually quite funny.
Wait. So this is supposed to be a big, gritty, serious kind of Scooby-Doo-like thing.
I mean, it's supernatural, so we can have some laughs here and there. But yeah, he's burping and farting everywhere.
I mean, I kind of feel like that just kills the entire tone.
I mean, yes and no, but I mean, it's in the source material.
Of course it's in the source material. Yeah, no, keep going then.
It's a Stephen King idea. It's gonna get those butts in the seats,
Yeah, butts, seats, definitely is.
So talking about butts, well, let me not get ahead of myself. So, okay, this guy, he's resting in the bed for a while, but then they go into the bedroom and he's not there anymore, right?
Is he gonna turn into something?
Not exactly. See, it's more like the thing is incubating itself in him, right?
Like an alien?
Kind of like an alien. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you should be thinking of, right?
Okay. Chest bursting, that's gonna be super scary. Something's coming out of him.
Well, we're not really going to see that part. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, obviously, he's in the bathroom, right?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so he's in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And he's not doing well. He's screaming. He's in a bad place, right? So then you hear this dramatic plop in the toilet bowl, right?
A dramatic plop in the toilet?
Dramatic plop in the toilet, right?
He dramatically took a dump?
Well, no. They burst open the door and he's dead. This guy's dead on the floor. But the thing is in the toilet.
I'm gonna stop you right there. So you're telling me the incubating thing didn't come out of his chest or even his stomach. Came out of his butt. Came out of his butt. This thing came out of his butt.
Yes, it came out of his butt.
Just keep going.
So canonically, these things are called shit weasels. But I really don't like that sort of language, so for the purpose of this meeting, I'm gonna call them butt worms.
They're called butt worms. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep.
Alright, so Beaver, he
Yeah.
jumps on the toilet, right, to hold this thing in there.
Yeah.
Now Jonesy, he promises, he's like, I'll be right back. Like, he's so serious about it, he actually runs back to the door, he's like, don't worry, Beaver, I'll be right back. So then Jonesy, he runs off to the shed to find tape so they could tape the toilet down, right?
Yeah.
So Beaver, yeah, he has OCD, right?
Wait, when did he have OCD?
He just does, right?
He just does. But you're supposed to, why does he have OCD now? I'm sure you're gonna tell me.
Well, I mean, they set it up in other scenes. It's very subtle, but
Did
I mean, they set it up. Yeah, no, they totally set it up. So he drops his toothpicks, right? Get it, Beaver would. Hey, there's sort of a little pun in that, right?
When did the
So-
toothpicks show up?
No, he just drops. He uses a toothpick once or twice in the movie, but then he drops his toothpicks, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he's on the toilet. He's reaching for the toothpicks, and like it's very dramatic because we don't know if he's gonna get the toothpicks
Why
or.
is he reaching for them now?
Well, because he has OCD. He needs his toothpicks.
He can't wait 2 minutes?
You can't wait 2 minutes. So Jonesy doesn't get back in time. He grabs a toothpick, but then the buttworm comes bursting out of the toilet, right? So then he's wrestling with the buttworm. It's very dramatic, right? It's very dramatic stuff. Jonesy comes back and obviously tries to help him out, but this thing has so many teeth. And then finally, it rears back and it just starts eating poor Beaver, and then he's dead.
How long is this movie going?
I don't know, I guess we're around the halfway mark, maybe a little earlier.
This movie's barely been an hour long, and you already killed one of the characters.
Well, I mean, his name's Beaver. It's hard to take things seriously when you got a character named Beaver.
Right, so you just have to murder him in the first place with a buttworm. Because, of course, this movie is nothing but serious.
Well, I mean, it's gritty. I wouldn't call it serious, right? We already established the funniness with the farting, right? But, I mean, playtime is over now. Now it's serious. These buttworms are very, very threatening, right? They're scary stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's Stephen King. He writes scary stuff. Like Pet Sematary. I mean, this is scary stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely scared.
Alright, so then the buttworm becomes this massive creature, right? This massive buttworm. And then he turns into mist. And then the mist possesses Jonesy.
So, okay, the damsel in distress.
Now you got it.
Yeah.
But Jonesy's okay, because he's mostly hiding in his mind palace.
Mind what now?
Yeah. So the possessor guy wants to know about their friend Duddits, right? But
We're just gonna skip this whole mind palace thing, aren't we?
yeah, no. But Jonesy's hiding in his mind palace, so the possessor guy can't find out about Duddits, right? And he's upset about that, so he leaves the cabin on a snowmobile.
Okay.
All right. But you're probably wondering what's happening to Fred and Shaggy, right?
Yeah, honestly,
Our
I kinda
other
forgot
two
about them.
guys. All right. So obviously, Shaggy guy's name is actually Pete, and Fred's name is I still don't remember. Doesn't matter, right? So so Fred and Pete are driving down the road, right? And they almost hit this lady. She's just sitting in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Very dramatic.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we know, right? She's probably infected. Very scary stuff. They go over to try to help her, and they see she's not doing too well, right? She's burping and farting like the other guys, so we know she's infected. Very scary, because we now know... Actually, I don't really remember. I know we're cutting back and forth, so I'm not sure we actually know these things are dangerous yet. Anyway, whatever. So they bring her to this little camp, and the Fred guy goes to get help at the cabin, and he tells the Pete guy, right, don't go back to the car for beer. But, right, he's Shaggy, so of course he goes back to the car for beer.
Oh, it's the sweetest beer.
So then he comes back with the beer, and he doesn't realize this woman's dead. The buttworm already burst out of her butt.
We're just using this as a serious thing now.
So then, obviously, after drinking a ton of beer, right, he's got to pee. So he decides to pee the name Duddits in the snow, right, in honor of their friend with the cancer, right?
Yeah,
like a nice tribute.
Writing in pee is a nice tribute to the Scooby-Doo equivalent friend that's not here.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty nice tribute. But then the buttworm bursts out of the snow and tries to grab his junk.
Whoa.
So then they're wrestling around. But luckily he's able to defeat the buttworm. I think he shoots it or something. So Pete is okay. He survived to live another day.
Great.
So Jonesy, right, he was on his snowmobile, and he's driving all the way there, but the possessed Jonesy starts talking to him in a British accent. They start having a conversation.
Why British accent? Is the thing British?
No, but I mean, we have to differentiate them somehow, right? Otherwise, we're not going to know one for the other.
But isn't he pretending to be Jonesy? Why would he need to differentiate?
He's still learning, like, how to be human, let's say, right? So he's using a British accent.
Okay.
So obviously he ends up, picking up Pete on the snowmobile, and he tries to get the information from Pete, right? He's like, what do you know about Duddits? And Pete almost tells him because he's drunk, but then he decides not to. Right? He knows not to reveal anything about Duddits. So then the Jonesy possessor buttworm bursts out of Jonesy and bites Pete in half.
So Pete's just dead now too?
Pete is dead now too.
Half these guys are dead already. How long has it even been?
I guess around halfway through the movie. I forgot to tell you about Morgan Freeman!
Oh, you got Morgan Freeman!
Yes, he's the antagonist!
Oh, okay, so he's probably going to show up a lot in the movie.
I mean, we got him for like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so.
You got Morgan Freeman for 10 minutes?
Yeah, right? He's a big actor. We're gonna give him top billing.
Even though he's in the movie for like 10 minutes?
I mean, he gets the butts and seats, right?
Yeah, the butts and seats. It's definitely an ongoing theme. How long is this movie again?
Oh, yeah, like 2.5 hours.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, no, yep,
We got a lot of story to tell.
Of course we do.
So Morgan Freeman, right? He's kind of crazy, right? Well, that's what the book says. The book says he's crazy.
Okay.
Now, the reason why he is, I think, is because, right, he's kind of like grizzled and jaded, right? He's fought these buttworms a bunch of times throughout his career, and he's seen their carnage throughout the world, right? That's just a thing he does. He fights off buttworm infestations.
Oh, that's just a thing.
And this is his last job, right?
Okay.
You know, that sort of stereotype, right? My last job. And yeah, obviously we know he's probably gonna die because of that. But that's just a guess, right?
Uh-huh.
But we know that he's going too far.
How would we know he's going too far?
So there's this young military man who's under his command. And he asks the military man, swear that you didn't let this woman through the quarantine zone and swear that she wasn't infected. So this guy swears. And then Morgan Freeman, he shoots the guy's hand off. It's very wrong.
It's very wrong, but why do you let a woman out of the quarantine zone?
Well, I guess he didn't realize that she actually was infected, so...
How did he not realize that?
I guess he just kind of let her through, you know? He just assumed that she hadn't been infected and he just let her through.
Just willy-nilly, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, Morgan Freeman could have given him, like, a second chance or a warning, but no, he just shoots him.
Yeah, no, that's pretty dark.
In the hand.
I would say that's pretty messed up, yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, I guess you could argue that this guy could have gotten outside of the quarantine zone and infected a whole, like, entire, like, community or state or population of people.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
That would be a problem. So, I mean, I guess we could kind of understand where Morgan Freeman's coming from, but, like...
But he's the bad guy.
But he is the bad guy.
I'm assuming he's gonna do other bad guy things.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, great.
So, like, he'll destroy the alien spaceship, even though they're screaming not to be destroyed.
You mean the aliens that are infecting everybody with buttworms?
Yes, those aliens.
We're supposed to feel bad about this?
Well, I mean, they're screaming. They sound scared.
Yeah, but they're attacking people and giving them buttworms.
Okay, well, I see where you're coming with this. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like Yeah, it's gritty, so we could leave it up to the audience to interpret this one.
Right. This movie is definitely supposed to be complicated.
So then Fred, I almost forgot to tell you about Fred. He goes back to the cabin, right? And he finds that there's all these buttworm eggs around. So he destroys all the buttworm eggs, right? Oh, and remember the title of the movie's Dreamcatcher. So all the kids, they made a Dreamcatcher together, and then that gets set on fire. It's very symbolic.
Okay, before we keep going, I have a couple of questions. Why is it called Dreamcatchers again?
Well, the Dreamcatcher is a bond of their friendship.
So, okay, fine. What about the fact that they have psychic powers? Because I can't help but feel like that's not being used very much.
Well, I mean, we have the whole Mind Palace thing.
I keep forgetting that exists.
Well, I mean, it only exists for Jonesy.
Oh, it only exists for one of them.
Yes.
You're not seeing any problem with this so far?
No, I don't think there's any problem.
Okay.
Well, at one point, one of them points out a direction, and we get this kind of, like, wobbly CGI that, like, points us in the same direction.
We get that once?
Maybe, like, twice.
In a 2.5-hour movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
So then Fred gets captured
Of course he does.
by the military group, right? And then he overhears that the military group is going to kill all the civilians.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're all in this lodge, right? So this is where we get to the part where Morgan Freeman's doing bad stuff, right?
They're all in a lodge?
Yeah, they're all together in this massive lodge. There's like maybe 200 of them. A lot of them are infected with the buttworms, but not all of them.
Why are they all in just one space?
I don't know. I guess they didn't have enough space for them.
But also they have buttworms. Isn't infection, you don't want to infect everybody?
Well, I mean, some people survive the buttworm infection.
Wait, when did they start surviving?
Well, like this guy, he's like this agent guy, he tells the camera that some people have survived the buttworm infection.
Do we have any visible proof of this? Like a file or like a flashback?
No, nobody on screen ever survives the buttworm infection.
So we're just going to have to believe this random guy despite the fact that we have no proof at all whatsoever.
Yes. But he seems trustworthy.
Of course he does.
Yeah, so obviously he's against killing all these people with buttworms and some people who might recover from the buttworms and some people who maybe don't have the buttworms yet, right? They're civilians. We can't kill civilians.
Even though they're going to die anyway with violent buttworm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could do that, or, you know, the buttworm could burst out and start killing all the other ones, but I mean, I guess we just hope that doesn't happen.
We're just going to hope that something that we have seen happen pretty much twice now would not happen to these people.
Yeah, it would not happen to these men, women, and children, right? We're just gonna hope.
That they don't die violently.
Yeah, we're gonna hope. I
Great.
think that's appropriate.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so obviously they work together to get Morgan Freeman, like, fired or demoted, whatever it is. So Morgan Freeman no longer has any power, and all the civilians are now safe.
But what about the buttworms?
Well, I mean, they're safe from, like, dying immediately, but they still have buttworms.
So they're safe from dying quick,
Yes.
but not from being ripped apart by buttworms.
They're not safe from that yet. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine off-screen something must happen to save the people.
Wait, we're never going to actually get closure on that?
No. Well, because we gotta get to the end of the movie. There's only 2.5 hours.
Only 2.5 hours. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can't understand what's going to happen to these people that have buttworm syndrome. It's fine. Please continue.
Alright, so, secret agent guy, Fred. They go and they pick up Duddits. Obviously, he's got the cancer. He's not looking too good. But his mom lets him go because she figures, you know...
Wait, you just finally put Duddits here.
Yes.
This is when we realize he has cancer.
Yes.
We don't realize this at any point. This has been like 2 hours. He's just showing up. And that's just it.
Yes.
Cool. Yep.
So yeah, and we get to see some Scooby-Doo merch in his house, right? Going back to the
Right.
Scooby-Doo
You gotta bring this home that he's the
Gotta
Scooby-Doo one.
bring it.
Gotcha.
So they start heading to the reservoir, because that's where Jonesy's going. You see, Jonesy infected this dog.
Why would you infect a dog?
He's evil!
But why would people want to see that? Why would you want to see a dog suffer?
Well, that's a good question, but it's in the source material, so we're just maintaining...
You realize you don't have to do everything in the source material when you're doing an adaptation, right?
Stephen King.
Yeah! Stephen King! Sure! Make a dog suffer! That's what I want to see when I'm in the theater.
Yes, so obviously he's gonna drop the dog in the reservoir. And so our gang, I guess we could call them, well, the three.
Gang of two.
And the secret agent guy.
Oh, I guess he's the guest.
Yeah, he's like the Don Knotts of the whole thing, right?
Oh, God.
So then, Morgan Freeman shows up. He's in a helicopter. He stole it from the military base.
He stole a whole helicopter from a military base?
Yes, he did.
And no one went after him.
Well, I think they tried to, but
They had one helicopter?
I think. I'm really forgetting this part. It gets very exciting. So the helicopter starts shooting at them. And then the secret agent starts shooting back at the helicopter. So then he hits the helicopter, and then it spirals into the ground and explodes!
This helicopter could have just gone down with gunfire?
Yes, the gunfire takes down the helicopter, but more importantly, it explodes.
That's the most important part.
We could probably put that explosion in the trailer. That'll get some butts and seats.
Yeah, a whole 2 hours and 15 minutes for one explosion.
Give or take. Yeah, I guess it's just one explosion. Well, there's kind of another one. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So then the secret agent guy, he obviously got shot by the helicopter. He's done.
Uh-huh.
So then, I really can't believe I forgot his name. Fred. We'll just call him Fred. So,
That's all I've been calling him.
like Steve, Larry. I feel like it's one of those.
Uh-huh.
So he goes into the reservoir to confront Jonesy, right?
Yeah.
And already the worms are out of the dog. The dog is dead.
Great. That's what I love.
And he confronts Jonesy to try to figure out whether the worms are still in him or not. And he tries to use his psychic powers to figure out whether Jonesy's the real Jonesy.
Great. That's what I love.
And he confronts Jonesy to try to figure out whether the worms are still in him or not. And he tries to use his psychic powers to figure out whether Jonesy's the real Jonesy. And it doesn't really work. And then Duddits shows up, even though Fred told him to stay behind, so it's kind of like a surprise. And then he and the Jonesy alien start wrestling. And then Duddits turns into the alien, and then they're both wrestling. And at some point, Duddits gets stabbed, and it's very dramatic. They're wrestling, and then they both explode.
Right, Duddits is an alien and they just explode?
Yes.
And
the reservoir is safe.
Oh, yeah. Great, the reservoir is safe.
I mean, but think about it. That means all the people who drink that water are not going to be infected with buttworms. They're heroes.
That's such good news. And about the town?
Oh, you mean all those people infected with buttworms?
Yeah,
no, I told you we never got back to them. We just kind of assumed they're okay.
Okay, great. Yep, that's...
And then we'll end it with this one, like, buttworm baby crawling towards the drain for the reservoir, but then Jonesy steps on it and cut the end. That's the movie.
That's the movie, huh?
I imagine you have some questions.
Please tell me we didn't spend money on this.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's in post-production.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to lose money off of this. Oh, God. Millions of dollars. I gotta talk to my wife. We're going to go all over.
I don't know what you're so worried about. I mean, it's Stephen King.
Oh, no.